No matter what time period we're in, no matter what political regime is in, it always feels like there's turbulence in the market. And what's important to people is to understand how can they measure financial stability. That's what we're going to get into today. We're going to make sure that you're prepared. One of the things that we got to think about is, what are the measuring sticks? Because the things that we can measure and monitor, those are the things that we'll be able to correct and kind of benchmark to see where we are in society and where we are from a financial standpoint. So if we're looking at the economy, for instance, one of the broader measures that you'll see is either the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the S&P 500. Both of those are an overall broad view of the stock market. And those are measures of financial stability in the economy. And also they show into the future where we believe the economy and the country is headed. The challenge with only using that is sometimes there's manipulation in the market, right? We see it. Somebody makes a wrong keystroke and sells off 1 billion shares of a company by accident, and it panics the market, right? So there's stopgap measures against that. But what we want to see is overall, how am I performing against the market, and what do we see the market doing? Because if we understand where the market's headed, that can help us make strategic decisions on the type of investments and the types of things that we need to do to prepare ourselves and protect ourselves in the future.
Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Gill, The Money Minute. The question is how to get into the money mindset. The first thing you need to do is save money on a daily, if not weekly, monthly basis, anywhere between 10 and 20% of your income. So when I save money that way, what happens is psychologically it gives me an advantage. It's no different than if you're working out every day. Psychologically, you have an advantage when you go to work or tackle life. Saving money creates a spiritual experience that allows you to multiply your money tenfold.
So some of the other factors to consider in how we measure financial stability is taking a look at inflation, right? You hear a lot now about hyperinflation. That's actually something we've been hearing back since 2008, right? When the market collapsed and they printed a bunch of money, right? The government printed all this money and everybody was worried about inflation. Well, that inflation never really happened. Why? Because governments and political figures get involved and we have super low interest rates still here now 12 years later. The idea that inflation is there, it's always going to be there, but the new inflation or the other effect that could happen is taxes, right? So taking a look at what's going on in the economy from an inflation perspective, right? That's one way to take money out of the economy is to inflate the cost of everything. Or let's tax the monetary base, and that's the other way to take money out of society, right? And give it back to the government. Those two factors alone are so important to making sure that you're prepared, because if we see tax law changing, which it's always changing, or we see the effects of inflation or disinflation, those two effects become a challenge, right? And so we want to understand what's going on in the economy today so that you can start to build your own personal economy. And to hone in on government, right? It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It doesn't matter Republican or Democrat. None of that stuff matters when it comes to your own personal economy. And the reason is because every time a new regime comes in, there's new controls, there's new rules coming in, and they want to change tax law, and they want to change this and regulate business or deregulate business. Whatever it is, what we do know is that change is always going to be constant. And the thing that matters most is what I said before, what's happening in your own personal economy. Those are the things that you need to focus on, because we can't rely on the government to, worry about what they're doing. We need to prepare ourselves for what's going to happen or what could happen. This way, that no matter who gets in there, no matter who's in office, no matter what tax laws they make or what's going on with the money that they're printing, that we're doing the right things to set ourselves up. Here at Epic, one of the things that we're doing is helping our clients manage and organize all of their financial world, right? We're putting all of those pieces together for them. And then what we're able to do is actually measure and monitor and project out into the future. What happens if inflation comes in? What does that do to my spending power in retirement? What happens if tax laws change and now all of a sudden my income that I thought was going to be taxed at 20% because I'm in retirement and I'm supposed to be in a lower tax bracket, well, that didn't happen. And now I'm having to pay in a 30% tax bracket. Well, what does that look like for my spending power in my portfolio? All of those things are so, so important to helping people be prepared when it comes to, understanding their finances and making sure that they're doing well in their own personal economy. Something you can do right now is just what you're doing, right? You're watching videos to get educated. Subscribe to our channel. We're putting out new content every day, Monday through Friday, giving you economic topics, other finance-related issues, money mindset, you name it. We're putting it out there to help you get educated and understand so that you are prepared for all the changes that are going to happen in this economy.